making contact far underneath the ball. This shot is a powerful and deceiving weapon. With the quick acceleration and brushing effect from either his forehand or backhand side, the opponent will often look up and say, "Oh, that ball is going out," and it falls in about 2 feet from the baseline. When the ball has that excessive topspin rotation, it has a big advantage. It will clear the net well over the opponent's outstretched racket and still fall into the playing area. Andre uses this shot to create outright winners, and in addition, it helps him set up his angles and passing shots when the opponent elects to stay back from that attacking net position. It's a point of beauty to watch Andre do this shot. I want you to hit the lob exactly how you hit your ground strokes. Make the preparation, the excitement, the same as if you're going to hit a big forehand or backhand. And at the last split second, drop the racket head underneath the ball to hit one of the 3 different lobs. A few practice tips. Number 1, the mini game. Remember the mini tennis game? What's the key to mini tennis? The rapid acceleration of the racket head. The same as applies to the topspin lob. You want to practice the offensive lob? Just hit regular ground strokes a little higher. And the defensive lob, higher yet. And if that isn't enough, anytime your opponent attacks the net for the next month, I want you to hit a lob. Hit a lob. Even if the opponent goes back and hits the overhead for outright winners. Next, when practicing your ground strokes from the baseline, vary the height of the ball each and every time. If you practice it enough in practice, you create the confidence to try it when you play. Make the lob a weapon. But remember, you've got to create that muscle memory so that it becomes automatic. You don't think about it. You can get it. And when you do, they're going to be paying for those balls all the time because you are going to start winning some matches.
As I mentioned earlier, the most important thing about a lob is to hit it long rather than short to back your opponent off the net. And you notice here, I saw my opportunity but got a little tentative and I didn't go for the shot as much as I should have. And here you'll see a chance to hit a lob, but instead of getting tentative, I just went for it a little more racket head acceleration, and boom, right over his head. And even if I had missed it, it still keeps him guessing, and it still would have been a great asset for me as the match progressed. Watch the return, how I come forward and block under his feet, and I quickly get to the next shot, prepare, and the most important thing is disguising it. He had no idea that lob was coming, and that's what made it so effective. The most important things to remember about hitting a well-hit lob is to disguise it, is that with the same motion, you can hit the lob, you can hit the down the line, or you can hit the angle. Because if you can't disguise the lob and they know when it's coming, it's really useless to even hit it. And if you're gonna hit the lob and you think you might miss it, don't be scared to hit it effectively, even if you think you might hit it long, because it's important to always keep that guy guessing. And I'd rather hit the lob out than hit it short and have him put it away.
The lob, the offensive and defensive lobs. There is nothing more important than the disguise in the lob. You must hit the lob as if you're going to hit a ground stroke. You set up exactly the same. The lob is exactly the same as a forehand and backhand. Hold that ball on that racket and just hit it a little higher over the net. That's all you've got to do. In order to learn that topspin lob, you've got to drop that racket head far underneath that ball. And you've got to accelerate that racket head with a brushing effect. Don't be afraid. Try it. drop shot. It is not a new stroke. There I go again. A drop shot is nothing more than a backhand or a forehand hit with a little less power.
Hold that ball on your racket a little longer.
Get the feeling that the ball belongs to that racket. Hold on to it. Don't give it away. No racket acceleration on contact. Once you get this feeling, open the face slightly,
Where you put a little reverse spin on the ball. That makes the ball hit
and almost come back to you. The opponent must rush forward, and if they are able to reach the ball, they are often off balance or out of position, setting the stage for your attacking winner, a passing shot, or even a lob. Once again, the key is to disguise the shot until you actually make contact. Before that contact, your opponent cannot detect whether you will hit a full ground stroke or this, the most underrated offensive shot in the game. Remember, the racket actually carries the ball towards the net, slowing down at contact rather than accelerating. And that's called a drop shot with a little reverse spin. We keep coming back to the mini tennis game. In your warm-up drills, before playing singles or doubles, taking a lesson, or just practicing, spend the first 10 minutes playing mini tennis. To keep the ball between the service lines, you will have to apply the drop shot techniques, holding on to the ball with a slightly open face to impart a little reverse spin. This is notably different from the mini tennis, where rapid racket head acceleration is used for the topspin and angle shots. In contrast, in this mini tennis drill, the racket decelerates at contact and even opens slightly to apply the reverse spin. Expand your mini game, hitting this drop shot from all positions inside the baseline area. Practice it. You'll get a brand new weapon in your attacking game of tennis.
Backing your opponent up farther and farther is real important, but it's also important to mix it up by not letting them know what you're going to do, like hitting a drop shot every now and then.
That's pretty. That is a very nice stroke.
And if you notice here in the replay exactly where in the court I was when I hit that drop shot, I wasn't behind the baseline on the low percentage shot. I was inside the baseline in control of the point. When you're playing somebody and you play an attacking game like I always choose to do, and you're really pushing him back and pushing him back, it seems like every time he takes a step back, the harder you have to hit it to push him back another step. And I remember one match when I was playing, I kept pushing the player back, and eventually he'd run the ball down. I ended up losing the point. And I came off the court, and Nick said to me, he says, you know what, when you're pushing somebody that far back, he says, throw in a drop shot. Who cares if you miss it? Let the guy not know what you're going to do. Therefore, you bring him in, and your big power shot will be all the more effective.
The drop shot. You have got to make believe that you're going to come up and hit the biggest forehand of your life. And then at the last second, open up the racket head just slightly, puts a little spin on the ball, hold that ball on that racket a little longer, and that ball's going to go right over the net.